Always news, always network, always power. CCNTV. Good afternoon and welcome to the Rundown. I'm your host, Captivating Christian, and here are some of your top stories for today, the 28th of September of 2022. Ron DeSantis, otherwise known as, y'all know what I call him, Ron DeSatan, appointed Florida official, has resigned after photos emerged of him appearing in a Ku Klux Klan robe and hood. Do tell. Also in other news, former President Donald Trump had directed Democratic staffers of color to serve the food during the White House dinner. Talk about the help. And lastly, Caleb McLean reflects on racism he faced from Stranger Things fans. Let's get to the news. Florida official appointed by Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida, otherwise known as Ron DeSatan, you know it, resigned on Friday after a photo emerged showing him in a Ku Klux Klan robe and hood. Jeffrey Moore was sworn in as a member of the Gladstone County Board of County Commissioners on August 3rd. Ron DeSantis had appointed Moore a resident of Havana and a former tax law specialist with the Florida Department of Revenue back in July. The photo in question appears to show Moore dressed in Klan attire, and it was posted on Twitter and circulated. And you know how that goes. Once it's out there, it goes like wildfire. And upon the actual photo coming out on Twitter, he released that Jeffrey Moore said, "Please accept this notification of my resignation effective this date of September 23rd of 2022 from the Gladstone County Board of County Commissioners." Moore wrote in a letter, "Per the Tallahassee Democrat, thank you for the opportunity to have served in this position. However, for personal reasons, I may no longer be able to continue." And of course, they reached out to Ron DeSantis for comment, and a representative said that the governor's team was in the middle of hurricane prep, so they did not have room for comment. But would definitely like to know your thoughts on that. One, I'm not surprised. It amazes me how people are so surprised that a lot of these politicians have racial, political undertones about them. You could tell the way they govern that they really don't see it for a lot of people. Hell, he just sent people from Texas, and he lives in the whole goddamn state of Florida, and flew them to Martha's Vineyard on taxpayer dime, and didn't try to act like that was justifiable when it was human trafficking at its best. But, you know, what do I know? Anyway, next story. Former President Donald Trump mistook a group of Democratic congressional staffers for the waiting staff and directed them to serve dinner during the early years of his presidency, according to the New York Times. And I'm waiting for the surprise. All right. In Maggie Haberman's new book, A Confident Man, The Making of and Breaking of Donald Trump, The Making and Breaking of America, the book notes that the aides of Senator Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi's staffers was a racially diverse group at the White House for the 2017 reception with Trump. And according to Rolling Stone, who reviewed Haberman's book, which would be released on October 4th, Trump faced the staffers and asked them, "Why don't you get the food?" According to the book, after the former White House Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus, corrected the president and fetched the actual waiting staff. In the same meeting, Trump left the room silent after he said he had lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton back in 2016 and was due to illegals and undocumented immigrants casting ballots. Pelosi verbally disagreed with the statement, according to the book, along with Trump, as long defending his relationship with the Black community and the Latino community, other marginalized groups. He has also had a long history of racist and inflammatory comments directed towards both groups. Ain't that the damn truth? Not to mention, his father has always disliked Black people and people of color and made sure they stayed out of his property. So, the apple don't fall far from the tree. But also, of course, let's not forget that Trump promoted the conspiracy theories that former President Barack Obama was not born in America. Trump also railed against immigrants, Central America, South America, and of course, let's not forget the coronavirus and calling it the China virus, which some of these dummies that follow him still call it because he named it that. Which again is a racist, bigoted way of naming something. But again, what do I know? I think it's all stupid. I'm just waiting for them to. They need to cancel his ass. He should have been canceled a long time ago. And why are we not surprised that, of course, he would think that those Black and brown people that was sent over by the Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi at the time were the help, because that's what he thinks of us and people like us, that we're just the help. We're not smart enough to actually be a part of government. We are the help. But in the words of many, you can eat my shit. Thank you. The Netflix sci-fi series hit Stranger Things, the star and actor Caleb McLean recently opened up about racism he faced while being on the series, from fans no less. The actor reflected on his first Comic-Con conference that he went to. That's the conference where we see a lot of pictures of people dressed up like sci-fi heroes and villains and things of that nature, that people didn't want to stand in his line, and they claim it to be the reason that the way his character treated Millie Bobby Brown when they were just 11 in season 1. It definitely took a toll on me as a young kid, he says. He said some people didn't stand in the line because I was Black. Some people told me, oh, I didn't want to be in your line because you were. Now, he's being 20 years old, he went on to explain that it still sometimes happens. Even though some people don't follow him and don't support him because he's Black. He said sometimes overseas, you feel the racism, you feel the bigotry. Sometimes it's hard to talk about for people to understand. But when I was younger, it definitely affected me a lot. He started the series when he was only 14, and he recalls his younger self wondering at times why he was the least favorite in the show, with fewer followers than his co-stars. The actor and his parents had to sit him down and tell him the sad truth. He's like, my parents had to be like, it's a sad truth, but it's because you're a Black child on a show. His parents also went on to tell him because he was born with his beautiful chocolate skin. And not a lot of people loved it. Despite the racism he faced, he's now refused to let it bring him down, which is an awesome thing. He utilizes his platform to spread positivity and love, because I don't give hate back to people who gave it to me, which I think is awesome. But sometimes you do gotta let a person know. I'm just saying, because otherwise they'll think they'll just walk all over you. But sometimes you do gotta put your foot down and slap a bitch. But yeah, that is crazy. Not surprising though. I mean, the way folks are. And again, given the climate that we are in, these kind of sycophants are able to just, be themselves without fear of retribution. And these people should be put on blast. And these employment places need to know, hey, you got a lot of people that you're hiring that, don't fall in line with your diversity program. So, but yeah, that's crazy. But shout out to that young man. Hopefully he begins and continues to flourish and grow, despite the cruelty he's been faced with as a young kid. And that's crazy that in 20 whatever, that even young children actors are being faced with racial differences, and they have to be told the sad truth about what America, and not only America, but the world is really like for beautiful Black and brown people. Once again, thank you for watching CCN Midday News. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification button so you will never miss another news update. Have a great day. Peace.